Portland is sending Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks.
This is huge. You are a basketball fan right now. This is exciting.
From a basketball perspective, it is an ideal fit.
When the moment of truth comes is when you can come up big.
If you were to come up with one word to describe Damian Lillard teaming up with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Lethal. Easy. Lethal.
My first pick is going to be Damian Lillard.
I really believe Damian Lillard, he's going to close the game out.
Lillard for the win. There you go. Game time. It's game time.
I'm so excited. We now welcome into NBA Today the new head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks, Adrian Griffin, along with general manager Jon Horst. Gentlemen, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us in studio on NBA Today. Really
Thanks for having us.
it.
Thanks for having us.
I feel like we have to start with possibly the biggest storyline of the offseason. We just saw it in the montage. Jon, you make this blockbuster trade that lands Damian Lillard in Milwaukee. And this, of course, is coming on the heels of some, let's call them pointed comments from Giannis saying that he wants to be surrounded by talent that he feels like he can win with. So how much did those comments drive this trade that we saw?
Yeah, really not at all. I think we've done everything we can over the past few years to put the best product we can on the floor with Giannis, for organization. There's no doubt that we're invested in him and this entire team, and we felt like getting Damian Lillard was the best thing for the franchise now and going forward. We're really excited to have him. That montage was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get goosebumps a little bit thinking about what this pairing could look like on the floor. For you, what's the most exciting part of the potential there, Adrian?
Well, one, our practices are extremely competitive, so we've had a chance to kind of match them up, and they have been disappointing. But just like anything else, you know, the more opportunities we can get them playing together, the better.
Yeah.
So count on Sunday. It's the next time that we want to see them out there in live competitive play. So it's an exciting time for us. But again, it's this process, and we're just taking step by step.
Yeah. So just to be clear, we haven't seen Damian Lillard or Giannis Antetokounmpo in a preseason game. Sunday is the date that we should circle.
Yes.
Sunday, we get our first glimpse at this new look Milwaukee Bucks team. I'm definitely going to be pulling up for that. But Jon, after on media day, Giannis comes in and said, "Hey, look, you know what? Now my intention is to sign an extension with the Milwaukee Bucks long term." What have the conversations been, if any, around that?
Yeah, I think, it's really important to understand that Giannis and what he says publicly and privately is very much aligned with what we believe as an organization. And it's not just something recent. We've done everything we can every step of the way to put the best team on the floor each and every day, to constantly push the limits and try to compete at the highest level. Obviously, we've had a championship-level success in the past. We're looking forward to figuring out how to get better each and every day and put ourselves back in those positions now, and we think that this trade's the most recent example of that.
Absolutely. What is the difference, Adrian, between coaching a Giannis team and a Giannis and Dame team?
Well, obviously we have some special talent on this team, but nothing ever changes. The magic is in the work. You know, when you put a roster together like this, the expectations come along with it. But what I've been preaching to our team is, okay, execution, right? Expectations without the execution is nothing. So, Again, the magic's in the work. We got to come ready to work, attention to detail, not skip the steps, and just buying into the process, and they've been great with it.
One of the things that we've talked about on this show is just how excited we are about the talent at the top of the East. So, of course, Damian Lillard comes into Milwaukee, but that includes shipping out Jrue Holiday, who I know was beloved by the organization, beloved by the players and the community, and he ends up with the Boston Celtics. So the biggest two trades of the offseason are you getting better and then your biggest foe getting better as well. Was that something that you considered in all of this?
No, but it's pretty remarkable when you think about the balance in the talent in the league, and not just in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. It's incredibly stacked. There's a bunch of great teams. There's a bunch of great talent. There's an arms race, I think, in the NBA, and everyone's trying to load up, and it's really as competitive as it's ever been in the 20 years or so that I've been around the NBA. For Jrue and for the Boston Celtics, that doesn't factor into our equation. We try to make ourselves better, do what we thought was best for us. We can't control anything else.
Do you see this team as kind of a finished product when you look at the roster now?
Yeah, right now it is. I mean, we have a full belief in this team, but we're evaluating every day. Coach is working every day. Like, I love how he says the magic's in the work. The magic's in the work for us. We're going to evaluate every single day, figure out how to get better. right now we're incredibly excited with where we're at, but there's no doubt that we'll look for opportunities to improve if we can.
This has been a team that has experienced a lot of success, obviously a championship in 2021, and it feels like every single year the expectation is to be in that conversation right at the top. Coming in with those expectations, how do you manage that?
Again, it's just the work. And, I've been in the NBA for 25 years as a player and as a coach. I was fortunate to play for some legendary coaches, Rick Pitino, Don Nelson, P.J. Carlesimo, Jeff Van Gundy, just to name a few. And then I've been under some equally impressive coaches as far as being an assistant coach under Tom Thibodeau, Scott Skiles, Billy Donovan, and then 5 years with Nick Nurse. So I feel very prepared. Again, I was undrafted. The only thing I know is the work.
Yeah.
So we just focus on every day coming in, and we have a saying in our organization with our practices. I got this from Phil Jackson, but we have to make the mundane sacred. It's easy to look down the road, too far down the road, but we have to produce in the present, and that's what it comes down to. And that just starts with having a great practice, having great training camp, which they have, and then get ready for our season opener. But we don't want to look too far down the road. We got to just focus on what's right in front of us.
Absolutely. I've talked a lot, we have, about Damian Lillard and about Giannis Antetokounmpo, but this is a team also that is being built on the backs of what Brook Lopez is able to do, Chris Middleton certainly. Last week he wasn't, Chris Middleton, playing 3-on-3, 5-on-5 yet. Where is he at now? Do you expect him to be ready for the opener?
So Chris had a successful offseason knee procedure. His rehab went extremely well, and he's been totally cooperative with all his everything that he needs to do on and off the court, and we expect him to play a preseason game, but he's right on schedule.
Expected to play a great preseason game is
Yes.
good news. Do we have one circled yet for him like we do for Damon Giannis, or is that still coming down the road?
It's still coming.
Still coming down the road, but we will stay tuned for that. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule, for spending some time with us here on NBA Today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Them James Harden where I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA on the ESPN.